Of all the best girls in Avatar: The Last Airbender, I have always indisputably put Katara at the top of my list. Now don't get me wrong, I love Toph's take-no-shit attitude, Azula's borderline sociopathic personality, and Suki's taste in men. But what can I say? I've always had a soft spot for everyone's favorite waterbender. Now the reasons I love Katara are as numerous as the stars, but ultimately, it boils down to her being so secure in two diametrically different sides of herself. Despite being the mom friend who's kind, responsible, and gentle, she's not afraid to get her hands dirty, knock some sense into people, and kick massive ass when the situation calls for it. Now I know there's a sizable portion of haters who, for some unfathomable reason, dislike Katara because she's whiny, has a mom complex, or some other nonsense because they hate realistically written characters or whatever. But despite being objectively wrong and daring to have personal opinions, I always said, it's fine. Katara isn't perfect. Her character type isn't for everyone. I totally understand. So, yeah. Even though Katara is pretty divisive in terms of her likability, I don't think anyone can argue that she isn't a good person. Like, obviously, she's the main heroine. However, there is one definitive moment where everyone, even hardcore Katara fans like myself, straight up hated her ass.
Katara, she was my mother too. But I think Aang might be right.
Then you didn't love her the way I did.
First time I heard that, I was like, damn girl, too far, too far. It's crazy, man, cause I forgive Katara for a lot of things on this show. Stealing a waterbending scroll and endangering your friends? She had a practical reason for it. Wasting time and resources to help a town that wasn't in immediate danger? Par for the course for Katara's character. Accusing her own freaking brother of not loving their mom enough? Alright, pull it back, Katara, pull it back. Seriously, I know I wasn't the only one who thought, what the fuck, when those words came out of her mouth. And I was even more surprised when those feelings of indignation lingered long after the episode ended. Pretty much everyone in this show has done terrible things like burning villages or straight up murder people. So why did this, of all things, hit me so hard? This might be stating the obvious, but it all really comes down to her big bro. The sibling relationship between Sokka and Katara is probably the most understated relationship in the whole series. It's not like with the others where they're still learning to accept each other's existence after the first meeting, like with Sokka being skeptical of Aang, or Katara going all mom friend on Toph. The thing about the Water Tribe siblings is we come into the series when their relationship has already been established. Literally in the first 3 minutes, we learn everything that goes on between them. Sokka is a cynical wannabe warrior, Katara is a promoted to mom sister who calls him out for being a prick, and every so often we see moments where they truly love each other. This routine goes on for the next 2 books with very little change. But the thing is, it didn't really have to change. It's abundantly clear that their sibling relationship is founded upon years of off-screen development, and you can tell how rock-solid their familial bond is because they know how the other operates. And over the course of the show, there's almost no moments where Katara or Sokka actually surprise each other. Until this moment. This moment right here, this accusation from Katara, fucking blew Sokka's mind. Just listen to his delivery when he says Katara's name.
Katara!
This is the sound of a man who is so utterly aghast that his sister could possibly say such a thing. Even in the Painted Lady episode, Sokka wasn't that shocked by Katara's actions, he was half expecting it. But this was completely unprecedented from Katara, and it was damn personal at that. Their mother is one of the few things they have in common, harking back to their baby days, so to have that shared history suddenly invalidated like that, it's no wonder it hurt like hell. So that's the reason for how Katara broke Sokka's heart. But the next question I want to pose is why she said it in the first place. And that's because she loves her mom. Yeah, duh, Captain Obvious. But for real, y'all keep saying how she cries over her mother every other episode, but that's legitimately a core facet of Katara's character arc. I mean, this whole revenge plot of an episode wouldn't have even happened if she wasn't hung up on it. But back to my point, it's painfully clear that the death of Kaya really fucked up Katara's emotional growth, and that often culminates in her lashing out at others. It's actually kind of ironic, because even though everyone thinks she's the mature sibling who's all responsible and stuff, in actuality, it's Sokka who's the more emotionally secure. No, I'm serious. See, like, yeah, Sokka is a loudmouth who says stupid shit all the time, but that's mostly his personality talking than any inability to control himself. His shenanigans are actually a healthy stress outlet for dealing with his own inner pain. And even then, Sokka is perfectly capable of making practical and level-headed decisions in tight situations, and very rarely does he act on his emotions and fly off the handle. Katara, on the other hand, has the opposite problem. The girl's whole personality was founded on a devastating traumatic experience, and I'm sure Katara's surrogate mother role became sincere at one point. But the thing is, it manifested out of necessity, not naturally. She grew up internalizing the pain, and never learned to process her emotions in a healthy, constructive manner. It's why whenever Katara reaches a certain breaking point, she explodes and says shitty things like telling off Aang for being a better waterbender, makes fun of Toph's blindness, or accusing her own freaking brother of not loving their mom enough. So yeah, crazy enough, Sokka's actually the mature sibling. Okay, enough pseudo-psychologist bullshit. Now, I'm not saying Katara is wrong for being this way, because damn if I'll blame someone who's a victim of trauma. But that being said, I don't think it's fair for either Katara or Sokka to just brush off a callous accusation like that and call it a day. To pull a quote I found off of Tumblr or Twitter or some other place I can't remember right now, terrible behavior can be understandable, but never excusable. So while I can forgive Katara for being a bitch, there's no denying that in that moment, she was completely in the wrong and I hated her fucking guts. And that's coming from someone who would adopt her as my daughter 99% of the time. By the end of the episode, I basically headcanoned that she gave Sokka an off-screen apology, and I know I'm not the only one. But it's not just for my own personal closure. I actually believe it's necessary for growing their relationship. One of the most important takeaways I got out of the Southern Raiders episode, other than that delicious Zutara bait, is that despite how close Katara and Sokka are, there are still parts about each other that they never really worked out or understood, and that coming to terms about these parts is just what the therapist ordered. There I go again, getting super fixated on the inconsequential moments of this show. Oh well, I might as well get used to it. Anyway, if you guys like this video and want to see more Avatar content, you can show your support by leaving a like, a comment, and subscribing to my channel. Until then, stay tuned!